Good morning, everyone. I am quickly approaching my first frost date here in Ohio, which is typically right around the middle of October, though I suspect it might be a little early this year, and that means it is time for harvesting sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are typically ready to harvest when the foliage starts to turn yellow and die back, or about 3 to 4 months after planting, depending on the variety. In northern areas, they can be left in the ground until the first fall frost, but you'll want to get them out of the ground as soon as possible after that point. I usually try to get them out within no more than a couple days after that first frost. Frost will turn the foliage black, but it won't hurt the tubers under the ground. I find it easiest to cut or pull the vines out of the way prior to harvesting. Some years I cover my planting area with black plastic or fabric, cutting small slits where I want to plant my sweet potato slips. This works really well to warm the soil and suppress weeds, but I found last year that voles also love to hide under the fabric and nibble on my sweet potatoes. So this year I just opted for mulching with alfalfa hay and grass clippings. When I harvest, I start by digging about 8 to 10 inches from where the main stem comes up out of the ground. I gently dig or fork around the area to remove tubers from the soil, avoiding nicking or piercing tubers while digging if possible. And if you manage to dig all of your sweet potatoes without piercing or nicking any of them, let me know your secret. I have been doing this for decades and still manage to slice open a prized tuber every single season. Once all of my sweet potatoes are dug, I begin the curing process. For long-term storage and to obtain full flavor, you'll want to cure your sweet potatoes. According to the Alabama University Extension, curing promotes the healing of cuts and bruises that occur during harvesting and handling. It also protects the roots from storage diseases and excessive shrinkage while starches are being converted to sugars and other flavor components. Curing the roots increases the post-harvest life of the sweet potato. In other words, curing sweet potatoes is going to give you better flavor and better storage from your tubers. So to do this, I let my freshly harvested potatoes dry in the sun after harvesting, and then I move them to a curing space. You don't want to wash the tubers, but you can brush off any excess dirt. Now, the ideal environment for curing is 85 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 85 to 90% relative humidity with good air circulation. Like myself, many of you may not have a space that quite matches this environment. The closest I can come are my outdoor greenhouses, but you can create a mini greenhouse environment almost anywhere. An easy solution is to either use plastic grocery bags or clear plastic containers. You can put your sweet potatoes in the bags or containers in a single layer. In the case of the bags, tie them shut and poke a few holes for ventilation. In the case of the plastic containers, just put the lid on but leave an inch or so gap so that air can circulate through. And place your bags or containers in the sunniest, warmest windowsill in your house. And don't be afraid to seek out other unconventional curing spots. An indoor grow tent can work, or a humidifier and space heater in a small bathroom. But you might want to warn guests before they use the restroom. Potatoes should be cured for 7 to 10 days, at which point they'll be hard, not corky to the touch. You'll want to remove and compost any potatoes that are showing signs of rot. Sweet potatoes can be eaten after this stage, but will actually develop even more sugars after about 6 weeks in storage. For storing sweet potatoes, I'm looking for an area that is cool and dark. The ideal environment is 55 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit with a relative humidity of 80 to 85%. I just store my tubers in the basement, which is warmer and less humid than the ideal conditions. But the tubers still store okay for me. Be aware, though, that keeping tubers at temperatures below 54 degrees Fahrenheit for extended periods will cause chilling injury to the tubers. Under ideal curing and storage conditions, tubers can store anywhere from 4 to 7 months. If you plan to eat your potatoes within a month or two, you can simply air dry them at 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit for a couple of weeks and then put them into storage. Keep in mind, if you don't have a great place for long-term storage of sweet potatoes, they can easily be frozen or canned as well. So let me know in the comments below, who is getting ready to dig their sweet potato harvest? And if you found today's video helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel, Growfully with Jenna. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.